Okay, ladies and gentlemen, very sorry to be gone today. Not the easiest day to be gone because we're doing the stock game, but I don't mind telling you I've got to go to the doctors about my losing my voice. It happens to me. Hadn't happened in a couple years. That's why I use the microphone, but apparently it's back. So I will be out today, but I will be, when I'm not at the doctor's, I will be on the computer checking things like the stocks and grading your assignments and things like that. So you Gmail me, you keep in touch, I'll be able to answer questions. But our objectives today, or what we're going to be doing today, is we are doing stock game day number 2, even though I'm not here. So you're going to have to pay attention to the instructions I give. Then you have an assignment in the Google Classroom, the 1 day in history assignment. And then after the substitute senses that most of you are done with that, you're going to have a video that you get to watch, and you can either watch it or work on your document of the week, which would be a great time to get that done because we rarely have that much, extra time at the end of a class. The normal things we would do, like dumb laws, dumb crooks, even vocab and weekly air, I will push into next week. We will get those done. I won't rip you off a document of the week pass either. We'll draw that on Monday, but I will work that in next week, provided I get a great sub report from the sub or from the teachers that had to fill in. So do not have your name left by the sub. You know how I am about that. And again, as long as the report from the class is good, obviously we'll draw those passes on Monday. So we will work that stuff in, I promise. So let's start off with the stock game. So what you're going to need to do is I'm going to show you the stocks in the video for day 2. And it's going to be confusing for some of you how you get to move forward, but hopefully it'll make sense. So yesterday was day 1, okay? And everything was worth $100. We're starting off with everything even. But today is day 2, so we've moved forward a few years. So I'm going to show you new prices. These old ones are no longer valid. Your stocks are no longer worth $100. So if you have, let's say, 3 shares of Dowdy Construction, you no longer have $300. You have 3 times whatever the day 2 number is. So on and so forth. So let's take a look. What do we have? A pretty good day for most people. So day 2 went really well for most of you. If you look, for example, if you bought Talbot Electric, every share you had that you bought for $100 is now worth $250. Penrose Power up to $200. Smith Steel up to $200. I don't even remember maybe Downing Airlines, $200. And really almost all the stocks except for Zimmerman Zeppelins went up. So if you happen to be the owner of Zimmerman Zeppelins, you lost a little money, $25 per share. Now here's the very, very important thing. This stock is only worth what it says today. It's not worth this on Monday. On Monday, there'll be the day 3 stocks. On Tuesday, there will be the day 4 stocks. On Wednesday, there'll be the day 5. So for example, you don't get to say, if you bought Zeppelins, yeah, I'd like to sell for this day 1 price of 100. That's not how stocks work. If you would like to sell them today because you think they're going to keep going down, you could sell them for $75 each. Now, if you think they're going to go back up, you should hold on to them. Same thing for a stock that went well. If you own Talbot Electric and you're like, oh man, I want to make that money, I want to make that profit, then what you can do is sell. You can sell those and I will pay you $250 for every share that I have on the orders. I have a big sheet where I listed all the orders from the Google Docs that you guys filled out. Now where it gets tricky and where I wish I was here with you is if you'd like to buy something different. Most of you spent all of your money. Now when you spent all of your money, that means it's all in the stock market. So let's say you owned Smith Steel and wanted to buy Talbot Electric. What you'll have to do, and I'm going to show you in this recording where these forms are again, is you'd have to go to where those forms are stock forms, and you would have to sell some of these, and then you know exactly how much money you'd have. Let's say you had 5 Smith Steel. Well, 5 times 200 is $1,000. And now you could fill out a form to sell 5 Smith Steel, and you could then buy, you have to buy them at the same price, the day 2 price too. You could afford to buy 4 at $250. Now, if that's very confusing to you, I understand, but this is how the stock game works. Hopefully the person you chose as your stockbroker is good at math. If you make a mistake on your buy and sell forms, I will correct them to some degree, but if you're way off, you may think you have more money than you have, and you may write down, oh, I want to buy 20 of this, and you don't have enough money. I will just go with what you can afford to do, and if you can only afford 5 shares of it, then that's how many you'll buy. You can also just sell it all, or you could do nothing. You could just let it ride. If you think this is going to keep going up day 3, you shouldn't touch it. If you think, oh, this is as good as it's going to get, you should sell it and not buy anything else. You can do whatever you want. This is your way to make your fortune, so that next Wednesday you end up owing less, making more money than you owe. So I have, and I took it home with me, I have this list of exactly how much every group owes, and if they went on the margin, and if you went on the margin, that's fine. Now, if you want to get really aggressive, you can email me. And if, hopefully, I plan on being on my computer a lot tomorrow. Now, again, I have to go to the doctor, so I may not be there on the computer the entire time. If you get a hold of me and say, I'd like permission to margin, you're allowed to margin your profit. In other words, you could sell 10 shares of Talbot Electric for $2,500, and you could margin that for $25,000. As a matter of fact, if I'm not there, I'm not responding to Gmail right away because I'm out at this appointment. In the margin there in your form where it says, how many you're going to buy or how many you can sell, you could write down, I want to sell all of this and margin it. And then you can go spend as much money as you now have margined in the buy form. And if I think what you've done is, it doesn't add up, then I'll let you know. But basically, you are allowed to sell all of your stock and put that down for 10% of a loan, a margin buy, on future stock. But you have to sell. You have to fill out a sell form. I know this is confusing for some, but that's okay. The good news is it's fake money, and the good news is this can't affect your grade. It can only affect the cheap Walmart prizes you may be able to auction on. But again, if you made $3,000, that means you could put that down on a $30,000 loan. You could remargin the margin. Very sketchy stuff. Highly illegal today, but we're in the 20s, so it's fine. So that's your last look at the stock prices. I'm about to move away from this screen, so you may want to take a picture of this or mark where in the recording this is so that you have these numbers. This is what your stock is valued at today, because when you write down, I'm going to sell 10 Penrose Power, I'm going to look at the price for day 2, not day 1, day 2, not day 3. That won't come up till Monday. So either take a picture or write down a few things right now. I'm going to move out of that. Now, I bet you wish you could see day 3. Ha. No way. Now, where are the forms? All right, so I'm on first period's Google Classroom. I'm in the stream. And obviously you found the video because when I'm done recording it, it'll be posted there tomorrow morning. And you go back and there's Thursday's video. And then there's Thursday's, the document of the week. And there's our to-do for Thursday. If you keep scrolling down, you will get to stock game necessities. This is listed in every single class. Now, it's going to keep being further and further down, but you'll see it there. This is the description of the stocks. This is the buy form, and you haven't done this yet, but this is the sell form. If you don't want to do anything, if you just want to ride it out, and you just want to keep the stocks where you have it, you don't have to do a thing. If you'd like to sell some of your stocks, your stock broker clicks on the stock sell form. Now, you can only sell stocks you've already owned. I've written all of the stocks you own down on a legal pad and brought it with me. And I know, this group bought this and that group bought that. And if you want to sell, you click on the stock that you want to sell. And then you say, I'm going to sell all of Birch Sporting Goods, all 5 that I have, or all 10 that I have, or just 1 of them, or just 2 of them. And you can do that for each one that you're going to do. But you need to list it right here. That's also where you can list, I'm selling it all, and I want to margin it. And then if you've done the math right, you'll be all set. And then you hit submit. After you fill your sell form, if you want more stock, then you have to click on the buy form again. I clear this every day. So these start from scratch every day. And just like yesterday, you would click on, I want to buy this, and this is how many shares I want to buy. Again, you've got to be able to do the math. You've got to know the math to know, if I sell 5 of that at $200, that's $1,000. Now I'm going to spend this $1,000. If you don't spend it all, I write down how much cash you have with your group. So I will keep track of that math, and you can double check with me if you're keeping your own, if you're afraid I'll rip you off. But again, this can't affect your grade. This is just trying to give you an understanding of how the stock market works and how people get in trouble. Some of you are going to make money on this. I hope I don't make, stock buying monsters out of you, but, you'll also see some people will go really broke. The stakes are low, though. It's best you find this out with play money for silly prizes as opposed to, your life savings. So I'm going to instruct the sub to give you about 10, maybe 15 minutes to do that. There's going to be some math, and you can meet as your group and decide, okay, what do we want to do? Do we want to sell right now? Do we want to buy some more? Do we want to sell a little, then buy some more? But you don't fill out a buy form. Do not fill out a purchase form without selling. Otherwise, you don't have any money. All of your money is wrapped up in stocks. So the only way you can have money to buy new stocks is to sell some of your old stocks. Okay? So the bank would be open, but I wasn't here. Starting Monday, then, you can also withdraw your money from the bank. My apologies that the bank teller is absent. But starting Monday, you can also withdraw your money, and then you can margin the money from the bank accounts. But that's your own personal money. You each have $100 in the bank if you were in school on Thursday. Okay? So that's the stock game. Again, the sub is going to give you about 10 to 15 minutes to do that. Then you will notice in the Google Classroom there's a one-day in history assignment. There are 2 PDFs of the pages you will need to complete that too. All of the answers are on that PDF. It's just having you glance at that day that we talked about, the day the stock market crashed. And then there's a link to a video. Now hopefully the sub will show the video to the entire class on the Smartboard. But if something happens and they can't, or we have too many teachers out and we end up having a teacher covering instead of a full-time sub, then you can just watch the video on your own at your seat with some headphones on. Or you could just work on your document of the week, get it out of the way. For honors, there's only 2 left, this one and another one. For non-honors, it's just this. This is your last document of the week that you have to get done. So no excuses not to have this done. Just take advantage of this time. On Monday, we'll pick back up at the stock game. We'll take a few notes on Monday, jump into day 3, and we'll be all set, okay? So hope that makes sense. I am around for questions most periods. So again, just send me a Gmail and I should be able to answer it pretty quick. All right? I hope you all are healthier than me. Have a great weekend.